Hi everyone, this is Diego from Covalent. Uh, Welcome to a new episode of the Convector Developer Office Hours. This is episode number 13. And this occasion, I want to talk to you a little bit about doing a deep dive on Hurley, on how Hurley works, what are the options that you have, uh, and a new feature we released a couple of weeks ago, actually last week or last 2 weeks ago, which is putting a network map so in a file, so Hurley can start up the network using that file, and we have found that is very really convenient for the regular usage. So yeah, without more, um, I want to start just by switching screen in here. And I have a simple project that I generated with Convector CLI. In this case, is coffee traceability example that is available in our GitHub main account. If you go to github.com/warsibu, you will find this repository there. Actually, if you go to here, you will see it, warsibu, and you will find there's a lot of examples that we have in here for you to take a look. And among of those examples, we have the convector example, coffee traceability down here. So if you want to get a look at the project, you can just go and check out the example that I'm explaining here. Uh, but yeah, again, as this episode is focused mostly on Hurley. Hurley is also an open source project that you will find that generates hyperledger networks for you, where you can install JavaScript and Golang chain codes without having to dig too deeper into the Fabric documentation to learn how to do so. Uh, Essentially, how Hurley works is by using your local Docker daemon, and it will spawn a network in that daemon, creating all the components that it needs to run. uh, is based the components that we are creating are based on the examples from Hyperledger Fabric. So you will end up with a network running Fabric 1.4, and it has support for private data collections. It also has support for launching Node.js chain codes in debug mode. This means that you can inspect the chain codes and put some breakpoints on it, and even it does have support for hot code reloading. So this is in the Node.js chain code version. If you spawn your chain code in debugging mode, you can just change your code and compile the package again, and it will automatically refresh the chain code for you, so you can just continue debugging without doing any upgrade or things like that to the chain code. But yeah, so you start to using Hurley, but just by typing Hurl new. So in this command, you just type Hurl, which is the short name that we use for Hurley. Hurl new. This will generate automatically a network with two organizations, two users on each organizations. Besides of the root, there will be a root users, and there will be two additional users, user 1 and user 2. It will create by default one channel, and all the network components are going to be located in this path by default. You can change all those values with by passing some flags to Hurley. For example, if you want to create two organizations, you just pass the flag dash O and the amount of organizations that you want. So you can create, for example, 5 organizations, 6 organizations, and this has a restriction on the number of organizations because of the number of ports that Hurley uses. So you can create at max 9 organizations, if I'm correctly. Uh, uh, to create your network. So it has a max of 9 organizations that you can create. You can pass any number of users for each of the organizations. So the users that you will be passing in this flag will be the amount of users that you will want to create for each of the organizations that you are going to create. The name of those users is going to be user number of channels that you want it to create. By default, it will just create one channel, but you can just create multiple channels. They will be all named CH1, CH2, and etc. etc. You can also override the path where Hurley creates all the components. By default, I mentioned is in the home directory. Actually, this path is not right. Uh, by default, it will create all the components in the path in the home directory, in your local home directory, in the subfolder Hyperledger Fabric Network. And you can go and, for example, I have already a network running in my local, so you can inspect all of those by doing Hyperledger Fabric Network. And you will see here it will has a lot of files. Actually, I want to let me add those to the editor so we can inspect them a little bit more. So let's see. Actually, just yeah, let's me add folder, and there you go. Alright, so in here you will see it actually has the two organizations. This .hfc folders is where all the cryptographic material is present for Hurley. So, and as you can see by default, it will just create one user. So I have the admin user and their corresponding private and public keys. And I also have the user one with their corresponding private and public key. Uh, so those are the cryptographic material for organization 1. The same thing for organization 2. This will be the section for organization 2. And some other things that you will find in here is, for example, you will have the network profiles. The network profiles are files that you use to tell the Fabric client, or in this case, if you are going to use Convector, the Convector controller client, uh, where to locate all the network components, all the peers and orders and coach DB and things like that. It will be all present. Big material is present in this network. So each of those is going to have the different path for the corresponding organization. The other things that you will see here is that it describes the channels. In this case, we have just one channel, which is CH1, and the order is present for this channel, and also the peers configuration for this channel. And later on, you will find the information about the organization itself, uh, where is the paths for the admin present, for the cryptographic material of the admin, and things like that. So you will see finding here. Another file that I think is being not really used by a lot of people right now is this alternate inside Docker file. So the difference between the network profile and the network profile inside Docker is by its name is going to be used when you are running or when you're trying to reach Hurley from inside a Docker container, because the URLs are going to be a little bit different. If you're trying to reach Hurley from your host machine, the URLs are going to look like this: HTTP localhost and the corresponding port for that specific section. But if you are running inside a Docker container, localhost will actually be the local container that you're running. So it won't actually find the components. What you need to do is running your Docker container inside or with a connection to the Hurley network. Hurley will automatically create a network, and you can see that if you do Docker network ls, you will see Hurley creates this net Hurley devnet. If you attach your Docker container to this network, then you will be able to talk with the Hurley components, but not using localhost. You will have to use this network profile, which is has the URLs with a format like this: order.hurley.lab. Yeah, make sure that if you ever try to reach Hurley from inside a container, um, make sure to attach that container to this network that Hurley generates, but also to use this network profile inside of the regular one. Uh, a couple of other things that you'll find in here is those bash scripts. Those bash scripts are actually how Hurley starts up the network. So you will find that, for example, the restart command, it has the instructions to stop the previous Docker containers that are running, uh, remove any images generated by the chain codes, and then with this line, it's going to start the Hurley network. The Hurley network is started by using this Docker compose file. You can always come in here and change the values in here and then restart the network. If you do it carefully and you know what you're doing, you will end up with a network running exactly in the way that you need it. For example, if you need to change any of the environment variables that we pass to the peers, you can come here and change any of those values. For example, to get better logs, or actually Hurley is providing all the environment variables to get the as much logs as you can. But if you want to make any update on the things how it's doing in here, you can always do it like that. Shut down notifications. Okay. Um, so yeah, you can always come to these files and take a look at what Hurley is doing to create a network. You will see in here we have some scripts to create a channel and join the peers to those channels, etc., etc. Also to register participants. Uh, a few weeks ago, a member of the community asked me how can I register new users. I actually sent him a script, but Convector actually has an utility in the Convector tool dev environment, which is only being used by Hurley right now. It has a command admin or add user where you can just pass any user with their own password and the role that they have, and it will automatically create the user for you. You will also need to be able to pass the cryptographic materials. Where do you want it to be to end up creating the components in here. But yeah, you can do that, and you can create new users on the fly by using this script. Uh, this way, if you need to create like users dynamically, you can do so by invoking this script that we have in here. Uh, let me see. Okay. Um, all right. So those are mostly the options that you have when you create a Hurley network. But what I wanted to show you today, and giving honor to the name of the video and the name of the show today, is that thanks to a contribution on the community, we are now able to create Hurley networks based on a file. So typically, the way that you start a network is just by in the env restart command of your Convector CLI project. You just type that and it will create Hurley new, and then it actually, this is custom made. It will be like that, and if you want to generate new users, you pass it like this. But now there is a new option is called network, and you can pause network command and pass Hurley the JSON in this case, and create a file named like that, Hurley JSON, and it will read the configuration of the network based on this file, and this offers us much more control and much more granularity about how the network is created. So as you can see here, you can define the channels that you are going to create. In this case, I'm creating CH1, but now the channel name, it does not necessarily needs to restrict to this short name, which is CH1. I can actually name this however I want. I can create a channel name public and tell it for all the organizations to be member of this channel public. This is actually another advantage that the network file has compared to passing arguments to the Hurley command, which is that now you can just have multiple organizations. In this case, I'm going to create a new third organization, and then create another channel named private, and then I will tell it to organization 1 and organization 3 to be part of the channel private, and leave the organization 2 outside of this new channel that I'm going to create. So if you have a project in which you depend on having multiple channels, and some organizations on some channels and some others in others, uh, you can take advantage of this new file that you have in here to create such rich scenarios. Another good thing is that you can now change the name of the organizations. For example, I have organization 1, 2, and 3 here, but I can now name them differently. For example, say this is company A, and they have organization um, corp. I don't know, just made up some names, and then we have government um, of Costa Rica, right? So I will name my organizations like this, and I will tell, okay, company and the government will all be in the public and private channels, but organization corp is going to be just in the public channel. And another good thing is that I can now have the amount of users dynamically before, if you pass the users by the argument to the Hurley, it will create the same number of users to all the organizations that you're creating. Using this Hurley JSON file, you can now change a different amount of users for each of those organizations. So in this case, I'm having uh, on company A, I'm having the CEO as a user, and the CTO, which is me, by the way. Uh, and you can also have, I don't know, no, let's just give it with 2. And then for the organization corp, you have evil user here, and then in the government of Costa Rica, you have the president here. So in this case, you can now have a much better control about how your network is going to be created. Let me actually run this and give it some time, because it's now going to take a little bit more um, creating the network. But we can continue talking what is created. NVM and restart. Right? Okay, and it's going to create the network in the background. So this way you can have like a better experience while customizing your usernames, your channel names, your organization names, and everything for you. And this is really convenient. Another good thing, just to continue explaining some of the comments that you have with Harley, is you can, well, as always, you can just install controllers, install chain codes using hard install. All the parameters now accept, I think this network configuration. No, yeah, excuse me. It will only be for the whole new, and then when you are going to install the a new chain code, if you created the network using a network map, like in this case, then you will have to make some changes and some tweaks to your scripts, because you now need to specify who is going to be the organization that kicks in the installation of the contract. By default, on Hurley, it always has been the organization 1, the one that kicks the installation of the contract. But if you are creating a network map, then now you need to provide the name of the organization creating the contract. Otherwise, it will try to default to organization 1, which if you rename the name of the organizations, it won't exist. Uh, you also need to specify the channel. By default, it will use CH1. Uh, but if you for example rename the name of the channels, you need to specify on which channel you want this to be installed, right? Um, let's continue. The same principle applies for the hard upgrade. which is to operate an existing chain code. So you will have to pass the organization and the channel that you want for your network. Same thing for invoke, it works in the same way. And also you can find all this documentation on everything that I'm saying in here, in this piece of document in our README file. So let's see if this end up correctly. Yeah. Alright, so as you can see at the end, Hurley will create, okay, so here you can see it's created the three admins for the three organizations. You will then start creating user one by one. So for company A, we'll create a CEO and CTO. For org corp, it will create every users, and for government, it will create the president. Uh, you will see also that it show you like all the channels I created and the organization and the way that those channels were created in here. And as if you were expect, if and this is a little trick, this is a little hint about like knowing how is your which channels your peers are currently running. You can do docker ps and locate the peer. Let's see by the name. So I have peer 0 of the government of Costa Rica. Docker exec is sorry. Docker exec, and then you can here run peer channel list. And after a huge log, just invoking the chain code, you will be able to see the list of channels where this peer has joined, and it in fact is in the public and the private channel. Let's see what about the org corp. So docker ps again. Okay, the org corp peer, which is in here. Docker exec pt bash and peer channel list. And you will see this is only in the public channel. So in fact, it was running as we were expecting. And now you can see we have the three peers. We have the three coach CVs. And you see each for one for each peer. We have the three certificate authorities, one for each organization, and we have the orderer as always. So yeah, I hope you find this very useful. A couple of other comments that we have seen in the Discord chat, and just to clarify, some people have asked us if Hurley is able to persist the data that you run in on it. And by default, we say no. It's not possible right now as Hurley it is to persist the blockchain, and so you can shut down your computer and come back later and start again. And it's because a simple reason: if Hurley is meant for development purposes, and you don't really want to mess up with some cache data on your tests. So the best way that you can just we can just ensure uh, that you can run your Hurley network and tear it down completely to start a new test again is just by deleting everything. So yeah, that's the short answer. The long putting the volumes some path to your local computer uh, to just to map the folders where Hyperledger Fabric is storing all the blocks and things like that. You can do that by your own, and if you update that this configuration file, you can just come and run the restart bash script, so that way it will just start the network again for you. But again, I will warn you that you don't really want to do that for development purposes. It's better to use, or if you are trying to sort of relying on a persistent storage, I encourage you to try a more stable solution for that, and that will be more like a cloud solution, or yeah, more like a cloud solution or blockchain as a service or things like that. Which, by the way, you can use something like Forma. Forma is one of our products that you have to host and persist your blockchain solution. So for those of you who don't know, we as a company provide a tool for create a blockchain solution, blockchain infrastructure in different cloud providers. So you can just go ahead and take a look at that if you want to like persist your data and have it in a secure way so you don't lose any data, any kind of data. But otherwise, with Hurley, by default, you will always get a fresh new network, which is the plan because it is intended for development purposes, uh, and for you to don't have to mess up with, hey, I have some cache data and which I used to run a couple of tests ago, and how can I get rid of this data? To avoid that kind of problems, as Hurley is not making that. Another things that people have asked me is if we are planning to move to Hyperledger Fabric 2.0, and the answer is yes. When the time comes, when they release 2.0, we probably are going to update Hurley to support 2.0 as well. In fact, you can change the version that we support, that actually Hurley runs, just by coming here and change the image number, the image version that you want to run, and then come in the restart again and change the version in. Let me see. There was a field over here. Version. No, it was on the install script, I think. Let me see. It was on the generate. Yeah, this is it. You gotta come here and change your binary in here in this section. Also, you have to change the binaries, the version in here, so it downloads the right binaries. You will find that the binaries are kept in this Fabric binaries folder, and this is where the Fabric versions are located. Another file that I forgot to mention in this video, we are almost run out of time, but just quickly, is that you can see, for example, the generated uh, configuration, for example, the Genesis, blog, and things like that in this folder. This is what Hurley generates, but also you can see the cryptographic material folder, peers, order, etc. In this folder, you will find that you can come here and see the peer organizations. You will see all the organizations involved. You can come here and see the peers. This is the peers that we have, and here you will have all the cryptographic components for the peers. This is in case that you need it. Most probably you won't ever need to access this folder, but just in case you need to extract some information from here, you can always come to this folder. Everything Hurley creates is in this folder at the end, so you will find that in here. So I hope you liked the video this week. Hopefully, Hurley and this new improvement on the way that you start up new networks helps you on your development process, which is our totally our intentions with Hurley. And please let us know if you are loving this new feature or if you're hating it as well. Please let us know in our Discord community. Our Discord community is always welcoming some people, and as well as our repositories. If you have like any idea, an improvement that we can do to Hurley or to Convector in general, please pass by in the Discord group. And if you want to collaborate with a pull request, we'll always love that. So yeah, thank you very much, and I think this is everything for this week. See you on 2 weeks.